Hi, I'm Mark Clueless Luthier, and we're going to do some time traveling. I've been working on the neck. I'm going to be using a scrap or a leftover piece of the top, the cap top, for this, but I haven't done anything with that. So at some point I'm going to come back to this video and wrap it up. For now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this set up and I'm going to glue this up. Once I do that, I can cut off a piece when I know where I want it and go back to that video. So let's do that. All right, I'm going to start using a plane along the edges I want to join and just do most of the work. All right, just to finish her off here, use my straight edge sander trick. All right, these are fitting really nicely now. That took a lot more sanding than I anticipated. I was kind of surprised by that. But nonetheless, let's see, get these glued up. Wax paper down. Oops, there we go. Okay. You know what I forgot to do? Oh, here we go. That should hold it pretty well. Bring these up. Then, just take this clamp and put a little pressure on it. Okay, feel pretty good. As long as I can reach it. Set that off. Okay, I'm gonna let this set up all overnight. Let's see what we got here. This piece here. Okay, looks good. I don't see any problems. I think if I'd have done it again, there's not, it doesn't matter that much. It's a little bit different thickness. I probably should have done it this way because this is the top I'm using. It's going to take a little bit more work, like right there. But then that side is flush. But that's all right. I gotta smooth both anyway. So we'll see what I like after I'm done doing that. Alright, kind of figured out what part of the wood I wanted to use for the cap. Got approval from my long-suffering wife, of course. Let's see. Okay. That's how it's going to be laid out. This should end up quite darker and come down to the neck. I think it's going to look cool. With the sanding, I'm sure you can't see it on the video, but the waves are really beautiful. Okay, next up. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough cut this out with a bandsaw. Special attention here because I want to use this for the headstock cover. But yeah, let's do that. Alright, so I got it roughed out. And now I can seal a piece of this for the headstock cover. I think I'm going to do that next. Then I'll be back. What I've done, I've marked out where I want to cut the body out of. These other lines are basically, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off some of this extra because I have to put it through the safety planer. The reason, grab this. So this is 1 3/4 inch thick, about. But I'm adding a 1/4 inch cap. And I don't want it, what I need to do is bring this down enough so that this kind of ends up at 1 3/4. Mostly for the fastening of the neck to make sure I've got the proper amount of wood. So I'm going to take this over to the bandsaw real quick and start work on it. Okay, so I've got this down to 1.5 inches, or slightly above. And I've redrawn the guitar body on here. I'm going to cut it out on the bandsaw, but I unfortunately discovered I have a little tiny tip of a screw coming through the bed. Right there, that scratched it. I hadn't put the fence back that far before. So fortunately not very deep. It wasn't through very much, but okay, so I'm going to cut out the shape. Well, I was almost done. I snapped a blade, a little piece of wood got jammed in there, but I was to the point where I think I can take care of this, I think by hand or maybe the scroll saw, or jigsaw. So I'll go figure that out. So I have glued my template. Well, glued it. I used the, painter's tape and super glue trick to temporarily attach the template to the base. And I'm going to use my router, my flush cut bit, to take this down to a uniform edge. Okay, I have taken my form, did all the measurements, and have cut out this area for where the neck is going to connect. And I'm now going to take my router and with a flush cut bit, and I'm going to take a 1/2 inch cut, which to be honest is really all I need to take, since it is now 1.5 inch thick anyway. So let me get suited up here. All right, I have the pocket all set. I might do a little sanding on the bottom, but it fits in nice and snug. And as long as I push it down and bring it up to that right here, I use this. It's got a scratch all the way through it. This is how I center things. And I hit these two, and it's pretty much right on the money. So that's ready. Now I'm going to take this to the side. I'm starting to work on this. So this is the cover I've got. I've lined out the outside of it and then the inside, making allowances for the extra wood for the screws. So now I'm going to start removing this hole, and it's going to go all the way through because this caps it off, and the knobs will be fastened to this piece of wood. So let's do it. Okay, I've used my template because I had the string locations marked. The bridge at this end to mark where the strings are going across. And I use that information to help locate where the pickups will be put in. So I'm going to start routing this out. I'm going to use my Dremel and a 1/8 inch bit to establish at least a perimeter. We'll see how that goes, and maybe something larger to get rid of the stuff in the middle. So. Okay, I routed out the pickup areas, channel for the wire to get to the pots. I also, that's for the jack, but I did mess up on that. I should have made it a little bit larger. I need a 5/8 inch bit, at least for the top where the nut is, but I don't have one. Well, I do, but it's a Forstner and there's no way I can use it now. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use a Forstner here, at least this size to start with. I'm going to do some weight relief by coming through the top, since it's going to be covered, and take off a little bit of this wood to make it even lighter. Okay, that's all I kind of feel comfortable taking out, at least for now. So onward and upward. All right, I have this set up in my Go deck. I cut this out roughly. I'll do the rest with a router or Dremel bit. I marked where these are pretty precisely, so I can cut them out later. I want to make sure it's totally fixed before I do that. I lightly penciled in the areas where I can't necessarily glue, so I can get around the important spots. And okay, let's glue the top on. Okay, let this dry up. Okay, ooh, that's on there. See how this turned out? Let's see. Not seeing any issues yet. That looks tight. I'm kind of surprised there's not more squeeze out. That made me a little nervous. But okay, next thing to do is to take the SS wood off. And that's not going to be today. I ordered some flush bit router bits. That'll be better for this. So I'm going to wait for those. Okay, I got my new flush cut bits in. And I'm going to start removing the excess wood from the top. So I'm going to round off the edge. On the front, I'm using a 3/8 inch bit because I want it to be nice and comfortable, especially up here. On the back, I'm going to use probably a 1/4 inch bit because I don't want it to interfere with where the screws are coming through onto the neck. Okay, the body is built. It's also sanded. I actually took it to a 1000 grit. I saw an interesting video on, well, it is related to StewMat, where they did that before an oil finish, and I decided to give it a try because it made it it helped make it glossy, which is something she wants. So that's it for this point. I'm about ready to finish. I am going to put frets on. I've shown that many times, but I may come back for a short one on that one because I have a new gadget for that. So anyway, hey, thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you soon.